Welcome to the fourth episode of the Sports Syllabus Talk Show. I'm your host, John Chakota, and I'm joined by
Luke Young.
And on the syllabus for today's episode, we're going to be talking about tonight's football game, our picks, our thoughts on how the 49ers have played so far this year, also the Seahawks and how they've played this year. We'll talk about Caleb Williams and how he's gotten progressively better. We'll also talk about Luke's team, the Packers, and how they've been playing since
Pack is back.
Since Jordan Love got back. And then we'll also be talking on the NBA preseason, our preseason picks for MVP, Rookie of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, and Sixth Man of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
So we can kind of talk about the football game tonight.
All right.
If you told me going into this game that the Niners would have been, I think, they're 2-3?
2-3, yep.
I would have, not believed you.
Yeah, everybody's hurt. Right, that's not a excuse for these double-digit games or these leads that they're blowing.
Exactly.
I heard a stat somewhere. Kyle Shanahan now 38-1 when leading up by 10 in the fourth quarter. Last night was the one, or this weekend was the one.
I think.
Yeah, it's just been kind of a choke job for them so far.
They should have beat the Cardinals. The Vikings, okay, but
clearly the Vikings are good. So that's not that horrible.
But the
loss.
Cardinals, they should have beat that team. I know, yes, you're hurt and you're depleted, but still, the Cardinals are not anywhere near the tier of the 49ers, and I think it doesn't get any easier from here. The Seahawks, yes, they lost to the Lions, but their offense is a good offense.
Yeah.
It's just their defense.
Yeah.
But it doesn't get any easier for them, and the Rams, that's not, even though their record says otherwise, they're still a good, they've been every game that they've played in, it's been
they're competitive.
So they're not going to have any cakewalks, and I think it's all yes, you want was Kittle hurt? Whatever you want.
No, I think Kittle's playing.
You want all your guys, and I think this all it relies back to McCaffrey, and because you saw how big of a step that offense took last year when he joined the team. How
that was 2 years ago.
Or two, geez.
Yeah.
How how much more open the playbook is than, and shoot, what's the guy's current running back?
Mason.
Jordan Mason. It's not like he's a bad running back. He's a good running back.
He's just not Christian McCaffrey.
I know.
He's the best running back in the league.
Exactly,
so,
and he does everything. He catches out of the bat. Where most teams have a guy who can catch the ball and then that power running back.
Mm-hmm.
But McCaffrey, I'm not saying McCaffrey's a power, but he can run with efficiency and run the ball well, and then he can also receive at one of the best.
Yeah.
In the league. So
yeah.
I think he's the difference maker, because he just opens up the playbook so much more, and you have to worry about him too. Do you want to talk about the Ravens game? Sorry, I don't know.
One more we were gonna do a pick for tonight's game, right?
Yeah.
If I had to make a pick, I would pick the Seahawks. Kind of controversial, but
no, I
don't
would
know.
pick the Seahawks.
The Niners have a lot of names on their defense, loaded defense. If you look at it on paper, and they're just struggling.
Yeah, Fred Warner's I feel been the only bright spot. Yeah. He's always a bright spot just because how good he is.
And Tre'Davious Ward, he's pretty good.
Yeah.
He's still on the team.
Yeah, he's still on the team.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would go with the Seahawks too, just because the Seahawks have looked better. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, their 3-0 start was maybe just because they had a little bit easier, but still, I still think that they're a good team and their offense is good, and Geno Smith is he's been back, but he's kind of showing why.
Yeah, losing to the Giants is kind of tough.
That was.
I feel
tough.
They're going to be motivated now, losing 2 games in a row.
And then also you're playing the Niners, who have been dominating the
NFC for
the NFC
5 years
exactly.
now. Yeah.
So I think they're going to have motivation, and I think it's at Seattle.
Yeah.
So you also have the 12th man, so you'll be able to have that home field advantage, sort of, which I think in this situation where the Niners are still sort of depleted, I think that's just a big. I think if it's a healthy Niner team, I think the Niners win that game. But because you're away, because you're depleted, and you're playing a Seahawks team that is a good team this year. I know they have a bad loss, but their offense is one of the better ones in the league, I feel like. So I mean,
they have 3 receivers. So.
Exactly. They have 3 legit receivers and then Kenneth Walker, too.
Yeah.
So, but, yeah, we can kind of talk about that Bengals game. I've been seeing a bunch of stuff about how Joe Burrow is at fault, like, for them running the ball on that, was it 4th or 3rd, where they kind of got out of field goal, or like they were in field goal position, but it was a long kick.
Well, yeah, that was not his fault. That was the
coaching.
No, it wasn't even the coaching. It was like
it was a bad snap.
It was the kick. Yeah. And the holder had it sideways when McPherson kicked it. I mean, there's no way he's making a kick like that.
Exactly. And then people have just, I feel like, looked at this Bengals team like, oh, they're frauds. Like, first of all, Joe Burrow's been playing like an MVP.
Yeah.
And he showed that last game. Yes, I think the interception was, he tried to force it a little too much, but also it's like there's also an argument where you could have been like, I feel like Jamar Chase, I don't know if he could have caught the ball, but he could have, put up a little bit of a fight because he kind of let Humphrey cut in front of him and then get position on him. Like,
well, if you watch the play, Burrow gets hit when he throws it too.
Yeah, exactly.
And
so
as a quarterback, you always have belief in your receiver, especially if it's Jamar Chase, who's like a top 10 receiver in the league.
And he had like 6 receptions for 193 yards, 2 touchdowns that game.
Yeah.
He was playing really well. So I don't know. It just, and I'm not saying like he gave up, but I felt like he could have gotten position, not even to block, like to catch it, just to like, because that ball was thrown right in Humphrey's like lap almost, you know what I mean? But and I also think the Ravens, just because everyone looks at their record, they're 2-3 or 3-3 now?
They are 3-2.
I think they look at the record and just like, oh, they're not. Like, this team the past 3 weeks has looked like the best team in the NFL. Just how dominant Derrick Henry's been. Like, he was quiet that game, and he broke out that big 50-yard run to basically win the game. The game. So it's like you think you stop the dude, and then he just runs all over you.
Yeah.
And Lamar, Jesus,
he is unbelievable, man.
The fact, like, people don't understand like how hard it is to stiff arm a 200, 300-pound defensive lineman who's running at, like, that's, and he didn't even, it looked like he didn't even like push him. He like kind of just pushed, like, not pushed, but like had his arm like almost like that, and then he makes a beautiful throw. Like, that throw could not have been more perfectly placed.
Yeah.
And also I think Justin Tucker, finally made field goals. I know the last one was a gimme, but he finally made a 50-yard field goal, which he was like 1 for 7 in the past 2 years or something.
Yeah.
So that's a good sign. I feel like they're starting to get better, and they're starting to become as good, if not better, than they were last year, which is a great sign. I mean, they have a better team than last year, so they should be. Yeah,
that Raiders loss now seems kind of fluky. They only lost, or the Chiefs lost was because Kevin Durant toe over the line type thing.
Yeah.
You just got to think, like, if you're a Ravens fan, you're super optimistic about this season so far. I mean,
exactly.
Henry's looked unbelievable. He looks rejuvenated. And Lamar's looked like the MVP form from last year, and he's working it in with the receivers and backup tight ends and all that stuff. And likely has been a huge surprise for them. So even though you had that weird Raiders loss early in the season where Gardner Minshew was kind of cooking you up a little bit.
Exactly.
I don't know. I would take the first 5 weeks is a positive so far.
Exactly.
Definitely, if I was a Ravens fan, I would think that the Ravens were the best team in the AFC.
Yeah, because like the record is so deceiving. Like, they have, I know like the Cowboys, I feel like, are one of the most overrated teams every year. I feel like they should not have won that game. That game
was a tough one.
That was
at 1 a.m. Yeah.
That was. I feel like you just got a luck of the draw there that night. But like, because they were not. That was not a good game.
No.
But that's beside the point. But I feel like, even though, yes, the Cowboys are overrated, they're a good team, and they the score made it seem closer, but they dominated that game.
Yeah.
Like, Henry was dominant, and then they destroy the Bills, and now the Bills don't look like.
Well, I wouldn't say they dominated that game. They were down. They were down 10 in the fourth quarter
Against the Bills?
No, against the Bengals. The Ravens.
Oh, no. I'm saying against the Bills.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Like, they just, and it looks like that's affected the Bills because the past 2 weeks they haven't looked like a team. Like, Josh Allen has been getting destroyed. I think it looked like he went unconscious when his head hit the ground.
He got knocked out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then came back in the game.
Yeah. I know. That game was a no-no.
That game was awful.
Yeah.
I don't understand what we can kind of transition to that now. What the Bills head coach, like, what were you thinking? Why would you throw the ball?
McDermott?
Yeah, why would you throw the ball 3 times in a row when you're in your own end zone? Like, and I was more annoyed because, like, yes, okay, the one time he fell, and then the one time he just overthrew Matt Collins, but still, you have 20 seconds, just take it to overtime. You've been playing a good game this whole, I mean, not really, actually. They were lucky to be in that game, but I don't know. I don't understand that sort of call where you also, like, the kicker for the Texans is one of, like, the better kickers in the league.
59-yarder for the win. What a stud.
I feel like, and it looked like it was going out,
left,
and then it cut.
Yeah.
So that, I mean, okay, yeah, 59-yarder is not a gimme now, but still, just giving them a shot is when you have the ball at 20 seconds, you're at your goal line, just run the ball. You waste time going to overtime, then you get a better chance. Yeah. Where you don't have to deal with, wasting. Like, it was. I think it was just dumb.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't get a chance to watch this game because I was in person at the Bears game.
Yeah.
But seeing all the stuff, I mean, that Nico Collins 70-yard touchdown, that was unbelievable. Too bad he's on IR now. Found out yesterday.
Yeah, that stinks because he's just been so good.
But after kind of a sneaky rough start for Stroud, he's looked exceptional the past 3 games. I mean, going back to where he was last year, just being that elite quarterback that we think he is, I mean, he definitely has potential to be the best one in the league, I think, for sure. As long as maybe Mahomes will always be that as long as he's in the league.
Yeah, but Mahomes this year, I saw something on ESPN that this dude is the favorite to win MVP, and he's got 6 touchdowns and 6 interceptions.
Yeah, he's the favorite just because
it's Mahomes.
Yeah.
I
he's
feel like
the best player in the league. So, like, even though he's not doing statistically as well as he does, if you watch the games, he's in control constantly. Yeah. And he's just, like, the epitome of a game manager. Like, people call Brock Purdy, like, a manager. All he has to do is make the throws, or Shanahan tells him. Mahomes is like, the games is in my hands, and I'm not going to let it go. Like, I am going to control this entire offense. This defense is going to have to react to whatever I do. Every movement that I make, this defense is going to have to react to, and I will have a counter for every single thing that they do. And they have Juju Smith-Schuster and Kareem Hunt as their 2 number 1 options right now.
And Kareem Hunt looks like he's kind of back.
Like Kareem Hunt and Juju Smith-Schuster both going for over 100 yards in 2024. Like, that was not on my bingo card. I wonder what type of odds you could have got at the beginning of the year for them to, like, have a game like that together.
I think it's also just Kareem Hunt being back in a system that he knows well. Like, yes, with the Browns, him and Nick Chubb, they were great. Yeah. But I always felt like he just, because he can.
Well, there's something too, like going back to the place that gave you your first shot, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
We can kind of talk now about. I mean, I kind of want to talk about the Bears. You said that you were at the Bears.
Yeah, we can do the Bears.
How was?
I love it. That was so much fun.
Yeah, I went to the game the week before.
So much fun.
One of the best experiences I've ever had.
It
also helps they won. Yeah, that makes it a lot better.
A blowout win too.
Yeah.
So I'm a Packers fan, and so I came into it. I just wore a black sweatshirt, black shorts, didn't wear anything that like would make me stand out.
If you wore a Packers shirt,
I feel like I probably would have gotten punched in the face at some point.
I was at the game. At the end of the game, people were walking out like we were, and people just started chanting "Green Bay sucks."
Yeah, they did that for mine too. I have a video of it. Yeah. So if I would have worn like
you would have gotten
a Rodgers jersey or something, I probably would have. I don't know, but at the end of the game, I was cheering for the Bears because like there's like thousands of people around me just cheering, and you like it's hard not to like just like be excited for everyone else around you, especially for Bears fans who don't have much to be excited about. But people will get a lot of hope from this game because how good Caleb Williams looked. And how good the defense looked, and how good all the receivers looked. But it is the Panthers. We have to keep that in mind.
I do agree.
But Caleb definitely has been improving. And we saw that in that game.
I pulled up. So this is QBR through the weeks. Week 1, 55.7. Week 2, 51. Week 3, 80. Week 4, 106. Week 5, 126.
Yeah, he looked great, and he was doing all the stuff he did at UFC where he was like juking people out in the pocket and stuff.
And I know, yes, it's the Panthers, but some of those throws that he made, that one to DJ Moore, where he was running like a deep route.
Yeah.
That's that ball you place that anywhere else. That's not a catch. That's not anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then he made one throw. I don't know who was on the run. Might have been to DJ Moore, or it was on
DJ Moore had 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, it was on the run, and if you watch the video in slow-mo, he's looking this way and he throws it that way.
Yeah.
And I know people keep on saying Mahomes-esque, and I'm not gonna say that because it's too early. But I feel like since people, like I was watching First Take yesterday, and they were saying ever since people have been talking, hyping up Jaden Daniels as like, should this guy have been the number 1 overall pick? Caleb Williams, I feel like in these past 3 weeks has been like taking that with like a little bit of a grain of salt.
Well, that's tough to do because you can always say retrospective, this person should have been the number 1 pick, but if you just break them down into what they were as prospects, Caleb Williams beat Daniels by a mile. I mean, think about Daniels. He was 3 years at Arizona State where he did absolutely nothing and transferred to LSU
and became
and then
a superstar.
Had one pretty good year, and then all of a sudden he was a Heisman.
Exactly.
And so, of course, and the problem with Daniels is that he is skinny and he's going to get hit when he doesn't slide, and he always doesn't slide. And every single time you think every time he gets hit, you think he's not going to get up.
Exactly.
Williams was one of the best prospects ever. I mean, you could see all of the arm stuff. If you look up his stats from USC, you would be like,
that's
unbelievable. And you'll look at his senior year and be like, wait, his record wasn't very good, and the team wasn't very good. But if you
watch
he had to score
games,
60 points to win every single game because the defense was so bad.
Still, you're scoring an insane amount of points.
Yeah. And he was throwing a bunch of picks because he was trying to be super aggressive so he could win games.
He was trying to be Superman. Yeah.
All the clips of him like crying with his mom and stuff, and it was just because he had so much pressure on his shoulders. And I don't know. I think he's definitely going to have a really good long career as long as he figures out how to, stand in the pocket, but also do the things where he runs around.
I think we're seeing
it's all
that.
about building
relationships. I loved Justin Fields, even though he wasn't great. I just loved him. But the issue with him is he would make one read, and then you see Caleb go 1, 2, 3, and then now
he's definitely a better passer than Fields is by far.
He does stay in the pocket a little long sometimes, but that's to be expected with a rookie.
I think his problem was initially that he was just escaping too soon. Now I feel like him staying there for too long isn't a bad thing. It's definitely something that he can work on, but I feel like it's showing signs of improvement where he's just got to pick his spots now. And
I think also we talked about this earlier this year in one of our other episodes, that it's so important to have a run game, and now they're starting to find that. Yep. They're starting to find that 1-2 punch with Herbert and Johnson.
Yeah.
Swift and Johnson, sorry, where Swift is kind of the every down back, and then once you get into the red zone or third and something.
Yeah, Rashawn Johnson, he gets it in the end zone every time.
Exactly. Yeah. Now, yes, it was the Panthers, but just the strides that I've seen, like they did well against the Rams. Like, yes, Caleb didn't throw for 300, but he threw for, I think, 2-something, and he threw 2 touchdowns, no intercept. Like, it's sometimes, especially being a Bears fan, you don't need a quarterback to throw for 300 and 3 interceptions and 3 like that. What you want is 200, 2 tutties, and
no interceptions. I feel like is a big thing. For him.
No turnovers is exactly
and limit the sacks. Also.
Exactly, which is what you want, especially with the Bears fan, where the issue in the past years have been sacks and turnovers. So I feel like that's just like that's what I want to see, and I feel like he's doing it, and he's giving us hope, and I'm really like. I'm starting to get more and more excited when I watch these games. Like, I'm excited to wake up, literally turn on Bears. Like, I'm just excited to do that this Sunday because they're in London.
Yeah.
So that'll be and it's also, I feel like, I think I said this before, that this sort of stretch of games before they play all these divisional games are so important to them.
They got to win them, yeah.
If they want to be, a potential playoff team or something like that. So that's why also, like, they're important. And the Jaguars, have been struggling, and the defense, our defense, 8 straight games with giving 20 points or lower given up. So they're hot, and I mean the Jags look. I mean, I know that was one game.
They also are really used to London. Also.
Exactly. So we'll see. Maybe I think they're already there in London.
Yeah, I'd assume so.
So we'll see. I mean, I hope they're they kind of pick up right where they left off. But I mean, hey, you play the games for a reason, and it's like a home. It is a home game, like
technically on the schedule it is.
Yeah, and I feel like it sort of is because the Jaguars are there every year.
But I feel like that would be the opposite for them. Then I feel like since the Jaguars are there every year, then it'd be an away game for the Bears. But technically on the schedule,
I'm saying for the Jaguars.
Yeah,
sorry,
right.
It's a home game because people are just so used to them. Maybe they're starting, but we'll see. I think if this was last year, I would be like I'm gonna watch. Obviously I was gonna watch it. I would just be more iffy because it's like Fields was either a great game or a meh to game. You know what I mean? So
yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the Bears offensive line deals with the pass rush.
I agree.
What's his name? Josh Allen. Yeah.
Well, Hines Allen.
Josh Hines Allen. Yeah, I forgot he hyphenated his name. Because the the Panthers really don't have a pass rush.
Jaguars. I get what you're saying. Yeah, sorry.
And I was like, I turned to my friend. I was like, oh, the offensive line's playing pretty good today. He's like, yeah, but the Panthers pass rush just really is non-existent.
Exactly.
So like, it's not really good test of what the line can be, but well, interesting to see if they made any improvements, and it'll be up to Caleb for him not to just stand in there and get drilled or roll out too early and just make it easy for him to get sacked.
Yeah, like I feel like there hasn't been this, like there was this excitement level when Fields came in, like we were like he can be this, but there was never this much. Actually, the last half of the 2021 season, I felt like there was a lot of hype because you saw Fields kind of flip that switch with like being quick with decisions and running and stuff, and then we didn't see that at all last year, which I have a whole thought about that. But I feel like with this year, I feel like we haven't been this excited as a Bears fan base in a while. Mm-hmm. Where like you're consistently excited, like for that 2021 season, we were only excited for that last half.
Yeah.
For this, I mean, I feel like every game we've been excited for, even though they've lost and it's been bad in the losses.
Yeah.
You still are excited because you saw it. Like I know it's the Panthers, but you saw those plays where like, wow, like this guy can be it for us.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes he holds the ball onto the ball just a tad too long.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's just kind of part of the magic that was him originally.
Exactly.
We can. But, yeah, he did look really good.
Exactly. We can transfer over to your team, the Packers.
Yeah.
What are you thinking of them?
Listen to this game on the radio on the way home, driving back from Chicago through the traffic.
Mm-hmm.
And something from the mic just fell. But we'll keep going. And it started off pretty rough. We were down, and then we were up, and then Jordan Love threw a pick six, and we were down 13-7. But
yeah, that pick
was pretty bad.
Was
that was a pretty Levis. That was a Levis-esque pick six.
Yeah, that
in
was
the end zone trying to do that is absurd. But I don't know if I saw his intention. I don't know if he was trying to throw it out of bounds or not.
Yeah,
but still,
couldn't tell.
Dude, just throw it out of bounds.
Yeah.
All right, whatever. I'm not a quarterback for a reason. All right, I'm not going to tell him how to do his job. And then we started to pick it up. The Tucker Kraft game, 2 touchdowns, that big stiff arm long run touchdown.
Yeah, that was a really nice.
He's
run.
Definitely coming to his own as a weapon for this team.
I really like the Xavier McKinney signing. I liked it when it happened.
Five interceptions.
5 for 5.
Yeah.
He was good with the Giants, but it's like the Giants, so we got no one knew who he was.
Yeah.
But like in the Giants, because the Bears, I feel like always played the Giants for 3 years, like 4 years in a row. They always had the Giants, and he was always like a good running back or quarterback.
Is he a safety or a corner?
No, he's a safety.
Yeah.
Sorry. Like he was always good, and then I feel like this, like I know interceptions can be deceiving. Like
still, interception's interception.
Exactly. So he's got a knack for finding the ball. I did think though.
Plus, he recovered a fumble in this game.
Yeah, I did think though going into this or like watching the game that like at halftime it looked like the Rams were gonna kind of go away with it.
Yeah,
but the Packers never really gave up, and I think the Rams just being so depleted.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting that both of these teams look pretty good because they're the 2 youngest teams in the NFL.
Yeah, I saw that stat, yeah.
And the Packers are the youngest team, but, like, I don't know. I feel like we have such high expectations for a team that's the youngest team ever. Like, I guess, not ever, in the NFL. Just because of that Dallas win last year in the playoffs, but...
Yeah.
I really do think
they were in that game against the Niners. Like, that was...
If you think about it, that's like... I don't know. It's like our second normal game of the year because like the first game we played on that stupid field, and Jordan Love got hurt, and then
I thought Love was going to tear his ACL or something just because.
Yeah, it looked like he did when Carter tackled him. Yeah, it was bad. And then we played 2 games with Malik Willis. Shout out to Malik Willis. He did great.
Yeah, got us back. That was really good.
2-1. And then we just get throttled by the Vikings. Come back almost, actually.
Yeah.
And then now we're here, and we're like, we got a good win against this really good Rams team. Matthew Stafford's definitely not an easy opponent to beat.
No.
Rodgers knows that. We played Matthew Stafford for years in the NFC North. And I just hope that we get this situation with Dobbs figured out.
I was going to ask you, what do you think about that?
I think that's so dumb. I kind of understand like guys like CD and Jamar Chase holding out because they're the best receivers in the league, right?
Not.
Dobbs hasn't done anything.
He was drafted as supposed to be their next sort of guy, and so he hasn't done anything.
It's because he's too soon, and the reason that he dropped out was because he was mad about his usage.
Exactly.
And so he didn't show up to practice, but he has the most targets per snap or something like that for all the receivers, more than Jaden Reed, because Jaden Reed's more of a deep threat. So he's
been really good this year.
He's the best receiver on the team. That's just not even close.
I agree.
He's unbelievable.
I totally agree.
If anybody gets to hold out, it should be him.
Exactly.
I don't agree with holding out, but if anybody deserves it, it's him. All right.
I agree.
Dobbs holds out because he doesn't like his usage. He's like one of the number 1 receivers, and I don't know what he's doing. Now he's suspended, and now the relationship's going to be all torn, and he's probably not going to play next year. And Watson's hurt, so hopefully we can get him back.
Do you think Dobbs will come back this year?
Yes. I just don't think that when the Packers go to negotiate his contract, they're going to be like,
he's gonna be
hey, you remember that time you sat out because you didn't think you were playing, like getting enough like touches? They're not going to be too happy about that.
Exactly.
And he's probably going to go somewhere else. But we have like 4 other receivers, so it's like
you guys have a good deep. You guys don't have like that sort of like DJ Moore guy, but you guys have a very deep wide receiver group, like where you don't have like that crazy superstar.
Jaden Reed's going to be a crazy superstar.
I think he's going to be.
Words.
Yes, I think he's going to be. But I'm saying like right now, I don't think he is.
Yeah.
But you guys just have a good you don't have like any crazy guys. You just have a very well balanced.
Yeah.
Where you guys kind of cancel out each other. Like you got Watson, who's the kind of red zone guy. You got Reed, who's the deep guy, and then Dobbs is supposed to be,
the route runner, medium guy.
But you guys are supposed to.
And then Dontavian Wicks comes in whenever they need him.
Wicks
now he's going to get a lot of
targets
because he's the wide receiver too now. Plus Kraft.
Yeah, Tucker Kraft looks. I mean, I think I have him on one of my fantasy teams.
Yeah. He had a good week this week then.
Yeah, so that was good.
Yeah.
We can kind of. I mean, the NBA preseason started, so I know you love talking about the NBA. I'm starting to get more. I get more and more into it once the year starts. I'm not like an all year kind of guy.
Yeah.
But do you want to start with MVP, rookie? What do you want to hit?
We're making picks right now. All right.
Yeah.
MVP?
Yeah.
Oh shoot. I mean, you have to go Luka, right?
I have either Luka or Shea, I feel like.
That's a good one too. If you look at the NFL GM results,
NBA.
They have excuse me, you're right. NBA GM results, they have Shea over Luka.
Yeah, that's
which is interesting because Luka's favored for the 5th year in a row to win MVP, and I just think that's interesting that the GMs think that Shea's going to do it, even though he really wasn't on that. He was on that level last year, but I think they're kind of banking off the fact that his stats won't get better.
Yeah.
His team will probably be the best regular season team in the league.
Yeah, I agree.
And I believe they're probably going to be the 1 seed in the West.
Again, yeah.
And so they'll probably be like, best player, best team, give it to him. He's probably going to still average like 27 points a game.
7 and whatever.
Yeah. And he's going to be the leader of his team. And I think that's a good pick, but for me, it's Luka's got to win one at some point. I feel like this is his year because
he's just gotten robbed with the talent in the league. Like that's not even saying like he's been bad. It's just the league is so talented now that he's just gotten unlucky. I feel like Jokic is just it's Jokic. Like you know what I mean? He does.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was gonna say Luka too, but I just feel like I don't know. I feel like the league and the NBA it's yes, you want to have, the best player ultimately win it, but a lot of the times in most of the sports, it's if you're the best player on that best team, you're usually going to get like if it's a close race, they're going to give it's like in UFC when it's a champion and they go to decision, unless it's like unknowingly obvious, like they're going to give it to the champion, the guy who's on the best team. They think best team, best player, you're the best guy.
Yeah.
But that's obviously not the case.
Yeah. guys usually have to be like statistically like unbelievable.
Exactly. And Luka averages what, 30, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So I feel like if it's not, I feel like this should be his year because now him and Kyrie we saw it last year. They're starting to really mesh well. I feel like this year it's going to be as good, if not better.
Plus, I think they got better in the offseason.
Exactly.
Yeah. Quentin Grimes, recent.
Yeah,
Lively's going to get better.
That was a good signing.
Lively's
going to be.
Klay Thompson, duh.
Yeah,
I don't think Klay's going to be like Warriors Klay level, but as long as he can hit some threes and
that's
play
what
little
they brought
defense,
him in to do. Yeah.
There you go. They'll space the floor.
Do they still have Derrick Jones?
No, he went to the Clippers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was
PJ Washington.
Yes. Derrick Jones was one of the most underrated guys on that team last year. He was so important for them.
Yeah, especially in that Thunder series.
Exactly. So I think they signed Klay with the intention of him not being a replacement because he's better than Jones, but like as a scorer.
They do different things.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So they don't need him to be as good of a defender as Jones was.
Yeah.
But they need him to just be like you know what I mean? Not like a dude who you can. They just need him to be a relatively decent defender, which he's always been.
Well, in his prime, he was like the best shooting guard defender in the entire league. But since his 2 injuries, which is not blaming him whatsoever, he's kind of lost his step.
Exactly.
But as long as he can hit a few threes and stand in the corner and like come off a few screens and like just space the floor so Kyrie and Luka can drive to the rim easier.
Yeah.
He's gonna have an easy job and they're gonna do great.
So I want to do Rookie of the Year now. So my original, like before, if this was to ask me before the season started, I was gonna say Alex Sarr, because going into the draft, I thought he was the best prospect.
Uh-huh.
But after seeing like the summer league and stuff, it looks like he is not adjusting well. Like I know, it's summer league, but that's not that's not like when you're playing vets. You're playing guys who are on prove it deals and stuff like that. So that was kind of alarming. So mine is this one may be like a sneaky pick. I don't know, but I have Dalton Kincaid. I feel like he comes into a great situation.
Yeah.
Where I felt like he can kind of be like another Austin Reeves for them.
Yeah.
Where he can be but I feel like he's a better scorer than Austin Reeves was ever.
Yeah.
In college especially. And I feel like he's going to provide to the Lakers something that they need, an explosive player off the bench. Maybe he does so well he works himself into the starting lineup. But yeah, I feel like he comes into a great situation where it's not like he's coming into one of these kind of bad teams where they need him to, produce right away. It's kind of at his own pace, so to say. Like with the Lakers, yes, you want him to do good, but you have LeBron, AD, D'Lo, Reeves. You have guys around him. So I feel like he's in a good situation where he doesn't feel the responsibility to be that guy who averages 30, 40, not 30, geez.
Wow. Imagine he averaged
like,
30, 40.
Like 20, 25, you know what I mean? So I feel like I think he's going to be a surprising pick, I feel like.
Connect is going to be perfect for the Lakers. He's going to come off the bench, shoot a few threes. He's going to run off a bunch of screens. And he's going to do great with LeBron. I think they're probably going to use him as a screener.
Yep.
It's going to be tough for people to guard that type of pick and roll because Connect's going to fade and LeBron's just going to go straight to the rim. And it's going to be tough for defenses. I do agree that they're better than most teams like the Hawks and the what are the other tanking teams? The Spurs, the Wizards, all those guys. I don't think the Lakers are going to be a playoff team at all.
No, but I'm just saying, like.
So he'll probably get some more opportunity just because of that fact.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to be one of their most important role players. For my Rookie of the Year, you never said your MVP. You said Luka, right?
Yeah, I said Shea or Luka. One or the other.
All right. My Rookie of the Year for me is going to be Stephon Castle. The Spurs took him with the 3rd pick. Hopefully he starts. We'll see if I bet you he'll be starting by the end of the year.
Yeah.
Everyone saw that dunk that he had in preseason. I'm not basing this pick off of that.
Yeah.
He was on that loaded UConn team that won back-to-back. And he was a 5-star coming out, and everyone was like, he can't really dribble. But that's fine. He has Chris Paul and a bunch of other dribblers.
Chris Paul's a great mentor for him.
Exactly. And he's going to play defense. He's going to be super athletic. He's going to shoot threes, hopefully. And he's got Wemby. And so
Wemby's so
if he finds a way to like work with Wemby, I think he's the most mature and he's the most athletic. And
you saw that in college. Like I felt like a lot of the guys on the UConn team were very like mature and not like kind of dumb. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I just think that I think the Spurs will be better than most people are saying this year.
Yeah.
With Chris Paul there and all the guys that they have, especially with Wemby, who's going to be like the best player in the league in like 2 years, if not this year. And I think Castle's going to fit right in, and he's going to win Rookie of the Year. If not Castle, my pick would be Reed Shepherd in Houston.
Yeah, he's looked good.
The only problem with him is the chance he's going to get on Houston. They have like 100 guys that could play.
Exactly.
And he's it's like 6'2" white dude. So
exactly.
He's athletic, but if the shots aren't falling, then he's not really going to play because the defense is going to struggle for him.
I also have like two other sort of picks that they're both on the same team, actually. Shannon and Dillingham, I feel like both, especially with Cat gone, obviously they're not centers, but I feel like one of them maybe can pick up that sort of the scoring void that Cat left. I know you're getting DiVincenzo and Randall back, but they don't score, and they're not as good as Cat, you know?
Well, Randall's going to score a lot.
Yeah, but I feel like one of these guys will kind of step up off the bench. Now, I don't know if they'll be like, you know, Rookie of the Year, but I feel like you saw that a lot with Dillingham. Like, how explosive he can be. But Shannon, I felt like he's kind of underrated just because he's an older dude.
Yeah.
But
plus
he was
with all the stuff with the rape charges.
Yeah, rape.
Stuff.
That's pretty bad.
It's not true, by the way.
Yeah, but it's, you know, he was still one of the best perimeter defenders in college basketball last year.
Yeah. And
one of the best scorers. It also helps that he's a lefty.
Yeah.
I feel like that always messes with people. So he looked, and I'm an Illinois fan, so, you know, I watched him for the past, 2-3 years? Was he there?
No, I think it was just one.
No, I thought it was 2.
Maybe it was 2.
But besides the point.
I only remember him because of last year.
Yeah. But I don't know. I feel like both of those guys showed that they can kind of be that primary scorer for your team, but it's also they're rookies, so they gotta earn it, especially with Ant too.
Yeah, we'll see if Shannon gets any minutes on
exactly. That's
team.
What I'm seeing. Like,
I bet he'll play a lot of G League.
Yeah, that's what I would, because you don't really have a spot for him.
Yeah, and he'll probably cook up in the G League, honestly, because I don't know, he's that dude. I mean, like,
he's
playing,
good.
When he played Wisconsin, I was like, oh my gosh, this guy is unbelievable. And he was really good in the tournament until they just ran into a buzzsaw of that UConn team. And there's nothing they could do about that. Nobody was beating them, so they can't even feel that bad about that.
Exactly. Like, I just think Shannon, like, he fell in a great team, but it's just for him, it's just he got unlucky where it's just there's so many people in his position.
Yeah.
I feel like he'll be a good trade piece.
Yeah.
If you know you want to make.
I don't know what other trade they're gonna do.
Yeah, but
did all their trades already.
So for Defensive Player of the Year, this one is gonna probably hurt you. I have Drew Holiday. I mean, you saw what he did for the Celtics last year, and how. I'm not saying the Dame trade was a bad trade, but just seeing how effective Drew Holiday was on the Celtics when he got there, you're not questioning the move because, you know, like, you got Dame Lillard, but you're thinking, like, wow, like, you saw how good that team was with and without him.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like it looks like he hasn't lost a step at all. And you think maybe his age would catch up to him a little bit, and it looks like he's just getting better and better.
Yeah,
honestly.
I will say he definitely is at the same level he was in Milwaukee. He looks better now because of the responsibility that they have him do in Milwaukee. When Chris Middleton was out, he was the number 2 ball handler and number 2 scorer, and that's just not his role. His role is to be a defensive guy, a guy who takes open threes and, like, cuts and makes layups and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that's why he looks so much better on the Celtics. And I don't know. It'll be interesting to see if a guard will win it, because the last guard to win it was the Celtics guard, Marcus Smart.
Yeah.
But if the Celtics do have the best defense again this year, and Drew Holiday's the focal point of that, I definitely could see him, because him and Derek White together that's an unbelievable defensive.
Exactly.
And Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, those 4 guys on the floor together, how are you supposed to dribble?
Exactly. Porzingis isn't, you know, known for defense, but he's still a 7-foot dude. Like,
Porzingis is known for defense. I mean, that's what his, like, number 1 thing is. He had, like, 5 blocks in Game 1 of the finals. It's because he's a white European guy. Doesn't mean he can't play defense.
It's just, I mean, I feel like it's, yes, you know, those 7-foot guys like Wemby and Gobert have that, like, you know, they're tall, so they're gonna get all the blocks and stuff. But obviously they mess with the presence and everything, like being. You don't want to. That it shuts down the lane because you don't want to.
Yeah, Wemby's my pick.
I was going to ask if do you think Wemby's.
It's not like a sexy pick or anything, but it's definitely getting Wemby's. There's no way because last year he was second as a rookie.
Exactly,
and he didn't.
And I think he's way better than Gobert because he's so much more versatile. Like you saw in the playoffs. What the Mavs would do, they would ISO Gobert on Luka, and Luka would just cook him.
Yeah.
So, and Wemby's very, very diverse. Like not diverse.
Versatile.
Versatile.
Wemby did something this year that I've never seen anything before in my life when watching the NBA. Somebody had a wide open layup in transition. Wemby was running behind them, and the person decided not to shoot the layup and kick it out for a three, because Wemby has such an impact on the rim that people just don't want to shoot when he's around.
Exactly.
And I just don't think that. I think this is going to be his award for a few years, for the years to come, to be honest. With all the tools and reaction time and just the physical gifts that he has.
Exactly.
It's going to be tough for anyone to beat him.
And I've seen stuff that it looks like he's added some muscle too.
Yeah, 20 pounds.
So, I mean, I feel like those bigger guys that. I mean, he never really got like bullied because he's just so tall.
Yeah.
But now it'll be easier for him to kind of size up those guys that they're not taller but they're bigger.
Yeah.
So I think that also adding muscle is big for him.
Yeah.
Now we can transition to sixth man of the year. So before the Cat trade, I was gonna say Naz Reid because he is like just really good at Really good at basketball.
He's really good at basketball.
I got his per 36 numbers last year. Now I know it's per 36, so it's not like but it was 27, 10, and almost. I think it was 1.6 steals, and it was 1.8 blocks per game. So like, there's nothing that shows me that like he's not gonna That's why I was kind of iffy on my Minnesota Timberwolves for Rookie of the Year, because it looks like Naz Reid will just pick up what Cat left, because he can score. Like he does everything well. I feel like. Also, his story is great too.
Yeah.
Like undrafted, no one knew about him. Then he's become one of the best players in one of the better guys off the bench. And then this year he looks like he'll be an all-star.
Yeah.
Now this is maybe a hot take. I have him. I said he could also possibly be a potential All-NBA guy. I know that's hot, but
All-NBA, no way.
My actual sixth man of the year is, I think, Caruso.
That's a good one. He might start though, but we'll have to see.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But if he does come off the bench, I feel like he'll just do what he did with the 2021 Bulls.
Yeah.
Just how he'll do what Shea can't do, which is it's not like a shot at Shea. It's just he does the gritty, hard-working stuff that like people don't notice that Shea doesn't do. And Caruso, momentum. He's a momentum guy. Like he just does all the hard little stuff that isn't like focused on, and that's what's made him so successful. He's been a good defender. He doesn't give you 15 or whatever, but he's a good defender. He has those big momentum plays, like those steals and dunks. And I feel like he can do it, especially with the Thunder, just how good they'll be. Like you said, when we were talking about Shea earlier, like, yes, they'll probably be the best team in the league.
Yeah.
So he may also get some help from that. So we'll see. We'll see, though.
Yeah. I haven't really thought about sixth man of the year. That's kind of a tough one. I'm trying to go through the...
Exactly. Like, it was hard for me to think. I just thought Caruso...
Who won it last year? Was it...
Naz Reid won it last year.
Naz Reid did win it last year?
But
okay.
That's why I was going to say him again, because, you know, before Cat was traded, he was...
Yeah.
But now that he's traded, I'm like, I didn't really know who else to put. Like, I couldn't think of any really great six-mans,
Yeah, I mean, Bobby Portis is always a good shout. He always comes off the bench of the Bucks. I feel like he's underrated.
I was about to say,
he came like second or third last year in defensive player of the year voting. So
he's really underrated. Like, I feel like, he usually gives you 15 a night.
Yeah, and he'll get a bunch of rebounds.
Exactly.
You just got to watch the game to understand his importance.
Yeah, he's just one of those guys that, like Caruso, sort of brings that, like, the energy, like that, the hype, the excitement. He's not afraid to talk.
Yeah.
I know when he was on the Bulls, he was a talker, but that's also like, I feel like that fits the Bucks really well because the Bucks kind of need that.
Need the attitude, yeah. Off the cuff, I was gonna say Dante DiVincenzo of the Timberwolves, but Naz Reid, him and Naz Reid are kind of going to be sharing that bench
I feel
lead
like,
role, or Dante might start, honestly.
Exactly.
But if I was thinking about it more, Christian Braun's another good one on Denver.
Yeah.
He's going to come off the bench for them and be really important this year, especially since I feel like Jamal Murray's going to kind of struggle with the new officiating, how it's more physical. We saw that in FIBA where he basically just wasn't part of the team.
Yeah, he was
really bad,
non-existent.
Yeah, and I feel like Braun's going to have to come in and kind of be that one of those guards, and I feel like he might up his stats a little bit, and the voters are going to like that.
Yeah, I think, obviously Westbrook isn't what he was.
That's a good one, too.
But last year, he was underrated. Like, he was good last year. He not like, good, but for his role and what he was paid for to do, he was good at what his job was. I felt like the Lakers, it was too much limelight, like attention. Yep. Once you go to the Clippers, like, yes, the Nuggets, they're still great, but it's not like LA where you're in the limelight the whole time. So I feel like that's why it's just because he's in a that's why I feel like now, yes, he was amazing in OKC, and I think if he was in any other position, he still would have been amazing. But I feel like that's why too is like OKC is not a big market. I feel like he does better in the smaller market teams. Yeah. Like, yes, it's Los Angeles Clippers, but it's really not.
Yeah.
Like, so I feel like he's starting to find his role. Whereas when he was traded to the Lakers, he still thought he was, number one scoring option, everything. I feel like he's starting to understand. Okay.
Yeah.
This is me. I'm not going to be a, 25, 10, and 10,
Yeah, you can't shoot the ball every time now.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's got to start passing.
And so that's why I think it's, like you said, I think it's either going to be between him or Braun, whoever kind of gets that six-man spot. So I feel like that's exciting and interesting. Jeez, I don't know why I struggled so much saying that. Now I know it's really early, but this will kind of be our last subject. Who do you think will make it out of the East? Because I feel like West, we both kind of agree that
finals picks.
Yeah, I feel like West, we both kind of agree with Thunder. Maybe. I mean.
All right, so are we picking this to? I think we're picking this to try to get it right.
I mean,
the East is only one answer. It has to be the Celtics.
Celtics, yeah.
All right. Then in the West, it's kind of all over the place. Mm-hmm. I mean, OKC clearly has a really good argument. They have the best roster, that's for sure.
But Mavs, we saw last year.
Mavs, obviously, they have the best player. They have Luka. They have, second best player, but third best player. They have we have Denver, who got worse, but still have Jokic, who's just going to figure it out because he's one of the all-time greatest ever.
Exactly.
In the West, we also have, like, the Grizzlies are coming back. Ja's already hurt, but he's actually hurt already. But he'll be back, I think, by the start of the season. And then, who else? No, I was just thinking this the other day. Who were the good teams last? Oh, the freaking Timberwolves, of course.
Yeah. Why do we forget that?
Yeah, I mean, you have all of those teams that are just absolutely elite.
I feel like a sneaky. I'm not saying these guys can make it to the finals, but they'll be a playoff team. The Magic, they've been on the
Eastern Conference, so you know.
Yeah, I know. They've been on like the upward trend recently, and I'm not saying they're going to beat the Celtics because I don't think they will, but I feel like they could make a good run in the playoffs.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, they're young, they're exciting. They got Wagner's really good. It also hurts watching that because that was the pick that the Bulls traded for Vucevic.
There we go.
So that's just Chicago, we do those terrible trades. I mean, thankfully the picks that we traded for Mac to the Raiders, it was the John Gruden Raiders, so they didn't know how to draft a good first rounder. Isn't like all of them like in jail or either?
Yeah, something like that.
No,
that's a good one.
I feel like that's an underrated team.
Last year they didn't have any offense, and they took the Cavaliers to 7.
Exactly.
It was Paolo basically by himself,
Paolo's
trying
good.
To win. Paolo's amazing. He's gonna be awesome.
Suggs has been disappointing.
Suggs is,
but he's kind of done like his job. You know what I mean?
Yeah. For sure.
He's accepted his role.
If you were to say, "Oh, you're taking this gritty defender who can shoot threes with the 4th overall pick," you would have been like, "Oh, let's not pass on him."
I think it's just because he was the number 4 pick.
That's why he's disappointing.
That's why people have that expectation where it's like he's supposed to be this.
Yep.
the score where like kind of
I thought he was going to be amazing coming out of college.
I did. He was exciting.
I saw him at Summer League, and I was like, damn,
yeah.
This guy's going to be good. And then it just never worked out.
He's just explosive.
He got hurt right away, and then he can't really shoot. So
yeah. So
well, now he can, but yeah.
And Wagner, I feel like Wagner and Banchero is a great front court.
Yeah, as long as Franz can shoot.
Court. Yeah. They just have a good team. Like it's a young team, but they also have that good sort of gritty veterans.
Yeah.
On the team that can kind of help the young guys get better and learn the game rather than I feel like a lot of the young teams that are going up, like in the rare cases like the Thunder, it's mainly just young guys.
Yeah, I mean that is like the rarest of rarest cases.
But most they need some dude. Like that's why I think, like you said with the Spurs, like they'll be good this year because Chris Paul will be able to mentor Castle, and that I think that we saw it last night with him and Wemby, the alley-oop. Like we'll be seeing a lot of that. They'll be working together. And I feel like I don't know if I'm just doing this because I saw it earlier today, but last night DeRozan was really good
dude,
I feel
15 points, 15 minutes.
Yeah, and
100%.
Yeah, I feel like the Kings will be.
I forgot about the Kings. That's what I was.
Like they got a three-headed, not monster, but Fox, DeRozan,
Keegan Murray,
Sabonis. Mm-hmm. Like that's a good team, but it's also like the West is so competitive.
I know. They'll be good, but not good enough to like really contend. I think.
I feel like that's what a lot of the East is. It's the Celtics on one tier, and then it's a lot of these teams are good teams.
Yeah, the
but
Bucks,
it's just
the Knicks, the Sixers.
Yeah.
All those teams, yeah.
I mean, unless
Magic.
the Knicks do something. Like,
Cavaliers, yeah.
I feel like the Knicks are probably like the second best, maybe.
Yeah, I agree. With the Sixers with a close third, and then probably the Bucks are like fourth. But
yeah.
The Bucks could either be like second, or they could be like ninth.
Exactly. That's always been the thing with them. I feel like they're always so like it's just. I mean, Giannis is one of the most intriguing players to watch. Like, I love watching him. In the league. But it's just like can the team around him? I feel like near the end of the year, before the playoffs, we started to see him and Lillard started to kind of work with each other. But I mean, like I think you said on the last episode that like they haven't really been doing a lot of stuff together.
Let's hope that they figured some stuff out.
Exactly, because for your sanity.
Yeah. It's going to be tough. But I believe. I mean, as long as we have Giannis on our team,
you always have a shot.
Always
exactly.
a shot.
That's like the same. That's what the Mavericks when Luke.
Yeah.
Like, you always had that shot to go to the finals or
it's not even that. It's just like the shot to win any game at any time.
Exactly, because they can just flip the switch and become that person that they're, what they're known for.
Yeah.
But. Yeah, this is one of our shorter episodes. Only 52 minutes.
I know.
We usually are touching an hour 10.
I know.
But that's all we have for this one. Thank you guys for listening.
Yeah, thanks guys.
Luke, you got anything else to say?
No, sir.
All right. Bear down, baby.